Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Earthlings on planet Earth, wherever you are, and aliens. I always leave them out, and I know they're watching. I think they walk amongst us, actually. I felt maybe this is a really good place, actually, to do video blogs. It's quiet, and as long as I haven't locked the door, so I hope nobody comes in hoping to use it. But there is another one that they can use. Think I quite like this. I mean, how many YouTubers, come on, how many YouTubers can report from the toilet or the shower? It's something different, isn't it? So yeah, I felt perhaps there was a little more explanation required after last night's video. I'm glad you all enjoyed it, and I will get to the point of the title, which I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I am going to talk about Harry and a little bit about Meghan, because they fascinate me, both of them, in a sort of sick way. But yeah, I thought I'd explain a little bit more. Thank you very much for all the comments. I'm glad you enjoyed that last night. I enjoyed that, actually. Really offloading. What's brought it on is watching old home videos of me and Graham that we've been reviewing, and I just look back on this younger Fiona and I'm saying things like, oh, we'll get it sorted in the end, it'll be all right, I think, 23 years later. Anyway, yeah, we bought this boat in 2007. So by my maths, which probably is wrong because I'm not very good at it, 16 years we've owned this boat now. 16 years, long years. Of course, we didn't live on it for the first 3. We used to keep it in jib. It was there. We bought it in situ. Engines never ran, and we couldn't afford to fly down. We were paying the rent on the boat in Brighton, and we bought this boat because it's so much bigger than the one we had in Brighton, and we always wanted to move down to jib. Paying £6,000 a year on the moorings, in the stupid belief that maybe that particular marina would be looking after our interests while we were not there, which apparently they were not. That's a long story, and different management there now, and the marina's completely changed. But yeah, apparently there were squatters living on our boat while we were paying the rent and paying for the water and the electricity, and they were trashing the boat behind our backs, and the marina didn't stop them and tell us, and they actually sank the boat. They left the freshwater hose filling the tanks and buggered off to the pub. And it was a neighbour of ours, God bless him, I'll always remember him for it. It came on the boat, actually had to virtually swim to get the bilge pump, the powerful bilge pump hose through the window, and he salvaged the boat for us. Not the marina that we were paying £6,000 a year rent to. So the boat is a work in progress, and I think the reason I like showing you guys videos about this is because I do loads of jobs on it and no one gives a crap around here. My family, they couldn't care less. They don't even notice. They come home and I'm really proud of myself and I go, whoa, look at this, what I've done. And they're like, nah, yeah, that's all right. And I think, argh. But you guys are so encouraging in the comments. And so I'm doing this to force myself to get on with jobs, so that I can then show you what I've done and how I've progressed. But yes, it's been a long time we've had this boat. Then we moved down permanently in 2010 eventually, and that's when we found out the full horrors of everything that had been going on our boat. I mean, one guy even came up to us and said, oh, I nearly bought your boat. And I went, what? When? And he said, last year. I said, we never had it up for sale. And we found out that the squatters were actually trying to sell the boat with the help of someone who worked at the marina, who I will not name, who, you know, I've forgiven that person. It took me 10 years. I did bear a grudge. I did, yes. I was really quite angry with him. But I have forgiven him now. I actually forgave him this January, which was exactly 10 years to the day of a particular storm and a particular doodah that happened. And yes, again, he had let us down, despite the fact we were paying him £6,000 a year rent. Anyway, that's another story. Enough about me and my boat. Now, one of you lovely guys sent me a very interesting email and a question, sort of saying, why didn't the royal family nip it in the bud? That it was obvious that Harry and Meghan thought they were equal, if not above, our current Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Catherine. And I can see why. I can see exactly. I can see from Meghan's point of view. Oh, and by the way, thank you very much for all the comments from Meghan and Harry fans. Lovely comments. Things like, I love the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. I love Meghan and Harry. Real positivity. And that makes me see them more human because of people like you that make nice comments, as opposed to, you know, calling us all racists and jealous and stuff like that. Yeah, when Diana died, and Diana had always sort of treated the boys as equal. Now, whatever was going on in their behind the scenes with the royal family, this is how I remember it, in their public persona, which, as I've said yesterday, that's all we can really talk about, is their public personas. And so Meghan, having watched the royal family, and she did, all this, she'd never heard of any of them or Googled them, that's nonsense, and we all know it. But she would have seen and heard and felt the same as me and the same as a lot of you guys. And I remember watching William and Harry together growing up, and Charles and the royal family really treated them as equals. And from my point of view, I could see they were doing it to make Harry not feel left out, to make Harry not feel like a spare. And I remember thinking to myself, they're building a rod for their own backs, because there's going to come a point when they've got very different futures. I mean, one is going to be the king and the other is not. And I think that's where it came from. So from a public point of view, Harry was just as important as William. They were the two princes. And I guess that's what Meghan saw. And she probably mistakenly thought, Harry is equal to William, therefore when I marry Harry, I will be equal to Catherine. But that is not the case. And I can't understand why the two of them weren't just happy with what they had. Because it's pretty cool being Duke and Duchess of Sussex, isn't it? What's not cool about that? Or is it the Earl and Countess of Dumbarton? Or I can't remember their other titles. That's pretty cool. And they could have done so much, and they could have had such a laugh. That's one of the things that I can't understand about Meghan. She can't laugh at herself at all. And the reason I laugh at myself and my situation is because it's either that or cry. Isn't it? You just got to get on with it and see the funny side of it. And I can see the funny side of it. You know, Steve Skerritt, my arresting officer, he actually said to me, "You'll laugh about all this one day, Fiona." And I did, actually, eventually, about 15 years after he said it to me. At Meghan's award, yes, guys, I did actually see a couple of days ago that Meghan has won yet another pointless award that I didn't even know there was a Gloria Steinem award. And it sort of reminded me of this. You might have seen this in the video the other day. This is a swimming trophy that one of my children won. I can't remember which one, and the badges and stuff hanging off it are other trophies that they got on sports days. But all the children got exactly the same award. So they weren't given for any particular reason, but being a mother, I thought, well, I'll keep that. And it's full of old coins and glow-in-the-dark pebbles that I've had for years that don't glow in the dark anymore. So, obviously, this is a pattern for her. This is a theme. And it's a cycle. Like, the first time she got awards, I remember all of us in the Megxiteer community being, like, up in arms going, oh, what's she done to earn an award? But then she's gone on and earned another award no one's ever heard of, and another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, and it's wearing thin, and it's a pattern, isn't it? It's a pattern of behaviour. Honestly, what's this award for? Being the most amazing feminine woman, feminism, women's rights or something. Really, is Meghan the biggest example? I do get that some of you guys, quite a small proportion, but some of you guys out there absolutely love her. Yeah, why not? But if you were going to choose someone who represents fighting for women's rights and stuff, would Meghan really be it? I don't know. I've got a list here. Yes, thank you very much for sharing the stories about, like, your partners. And the peeing in the bushes thing, yeah. By the way, there's nothing wrong with peeing in the bushes if you're going camping. I thought I heard a rumour that there were perfectly good toilets, so I don't know why she did that. But it's just kind of a strange thing to put in a book. And that's coming from someone who has, full-blown meltdowns on the internet. And the desk that I showed you yesterday, thank you very much. There were 2 of you who commented and said that would have been a sample piece of furniture that carpenters would have made back in the day. Door-to-door salesman would knock the door and say, look, this is a sample of our work and what we can make. And isn't that fantastic? So, and one of them said, you must take the drawers out and look, there'll be a name on it somewhere of somebody who made it. So, I think I've got everything on my list now. Yes, so the royal family, they really went a squiff there. They should have made it clearer to Harry in the public persona. I know he complains in his book, William got the better half of the bedroom. William got the bigger half of the bedroom, however that works. William got the extra sausage or whatever. But they should have made it clearer to him that he was a wingman. He was never going to be like, I get the impression he thought it would be like a co-throne, co-ruling. And if Harry didn't misunderstand that, I'm pretty sure Meghan completely misunderstood the situation. I wonder what she'd do if she had a time machine. What would she do differently, or would she do it all exactly the same? That would be interesting. Oh, good grief. If I had a time machine, I'd probably go back and mention to younger Fiona. Well, I'd give her advice on a few DIY tips, that's for sure. As always, I look forward to hearing your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. And thank you very much for listening.